What does the plaintiff want the defendants to do? Give him his DNA back. Hey, Attorney Bozo, what if I would have said yes? Go get Chief Scam from whatever donut platter he's at and download whatever disc, whatever computer, whatever TV program that contains my unlawful DNA. Give it to me now. So the answer to your dumbass response is yes. I want it back immediately. FCN Watchdog Media. www.fcnwatchdogmedia.org. Ooh, we see you. What does the plaintiff want the defendants to do? Give him his DNA back.
Garbage right there, buddy.
Scam.
What's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's a little weird, though. A little weird sounding.
What do you mean a little weird sounding? I have a better mic.
Shut up.
Maybe it's because Delta's barking in the background. You realize we are live right now while you're screaming like a scam.
Well, my dog is a scam, and I'm going to. Look, man. I'm a taker, and you know that food I like to cook up. She's gonna be the entree, bro.
All right. We are now live on all of our platforms, including YouTube. Well, every platform that we have over 1,000 followers or so, we are live on now. So kind of wanted to just kind of reflect on FCN Watchdog Media and kind of let the people know what we're doing, and then also give them an update on each of our situations and our cases. I mean, we've got some major cases going on, and I think it's important that we come to our audience every now and then and let them know what is actually happening in our situations in court. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Just kind of keeps them up to date on how we're doing, letting them know that we do know what we are doing, and at least, if anything, we're not afraid to do it. So,
yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. A lot of people don't realize that, I think a lot of times people just let, things happen to them because they're afraid. They don't know how to, because they've been taught that, if you don't have an attorney, and if you don't have the right attorney, then you basically are going to lose your situation, no matter what the situation may be. And what we're finding out together with what we're doing with FCN is no. I mean, when they wrote the Constitution, they never once said that you had to have a licensed by the state attorney to defend you or to speak on your behalf. And then somehow over the years, then you start adding all these different states in, and everybody comes up with their own stupid codes. And then now you got people that are afraid to go before when their rights have been violated. Hello?
yeah, I'm here. Yeah, that's how they do us, man. They make us feel like we need to get an attorney. They dumb us down, make us feel like we're not smart enough to be able to pursue this on our own. The founders, when they wrote the Constitution, they felt that you as a citizen had enough sense in your head to be able to pick somebody to be able to represent you. But for some reason, today's day and age, no, you got to have a licensed attorney. They don't trust your judgment, that you need to be babysat. They think you're too stupid.
Right, which is what makes everybody feel like you're dumbed down. Like, and that's ridiculous. I mean, even when we take my situation that has been going on since 2022, I mean, you have an attorney that literally states on the record, says, hey, what does the defendant want us to do? Give him his DNA back. I mean, not only is that an admission to the fact that these guys illegally took my DNA when I was not even a suspect in the middle of a break-in that happened with my store where the words nigger was spray painted on the walls. Somehow, these guys interrogated me and my sister, and then they turned around and took my DNA without proper cause. When I questioned them about this, their response was, what does he want us to do? Give him his DNA back. That's the most disrespectful, sarcastic response that anybody can respond to somebody when they're doing something illegal. So wait a second, you break the law, violate my rights, but then your response to me is, what does he want us to do? Give him his DNA back.
Yeah, they're scams, man. They become very disrespectful to us. You know, they'll become insulting. You know, you had them say that, and then on the case with my daughter fighting for her grand jury testimony to find out what this investigator said, you know, he took in there. You know, we laid out what's called a particularized need. You have to have a particularized need. And we laid it out in the motion. And then the prosecutor's going to go and say that we didn't put out a claim for a particularized need and blah, 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 and said some other stuff and said some things that weren't correct. And then we asked the judge to put an injunction on them and to charge fines against them because of the fact that they said what they said. And I said, you know, if they would read the motion, they would see that there was a particularized need in there. And they responded with, well, what are we supposed to be able to do? Read minds of the author? That was their answer. That was the prosecutor's answer to our opposition of them not wanting to have this case be disclosed, to have the grand jury testimony come out. So our response back to them was just as smart ass as their answer was. Well, we didn't know, Your Honor, that mind readers existed to where they didn't have the capability of doing that. So we were just expecting them to read the motion, not to read minds per se, right? They're scams, dude. They're scams.
Exactly. I mean, it's no different than, and like I said, I wanted to take this whole opportunity to talk about every situation that we're battling in court, and that includes the Shinover Law Firm. That's no different than the Shinover Law Firm who utilized the court system to weaponize me for exposing him for breaking the law. Now, how did he break the law? Well, legally, you are not allowed to surveil or record or monitor someone, especially if they have you in litigation. Now, the fact that we were in the process of litigating the State Farm case, which included his partner, and for him to then turn around and go and stalk my social media platforms, LinkedIn, all of these different pages, and report the pages to Facebook as harassment, which was a complete blatant lie. And then after reporting those things and I expose him, he then goes to the court and gets an unlawful protection order signed by the judge against me. Now, what did I do? I turned around and filed an official complaint against that judge as well as the attorney. And then I followed it up with a civil lawsuit because you broke the law, buddy. They violated my rights and tried to suppress my First Amendment rights and take my gun rights from me unjustly because of this attorney's false allegations. So I wanted the public to really know more about your story. They've heard my story over and over and over and over again. They've seen it. It's been broadcasted for years. It's been all over Facebook, every social media platform. I want our audience to hear what happened to your daughter. That's what I need them to hear from your mouth, because all they've heard from this point forward is just bits and pieces. They have not heard exactly what the hell these people did to you and your daughter.
Okay. All right. So everything I'm going to say from this point, I don't say as a president or representative of FCN Watchdog Media. This way I can have my own opinion, and it doesn't affect my company. So,
listen. Well, wait a second though. We're on FCN, man. You can speak on behalf of FCN.
Well, yeah, but we're not supposed to have too many opinions or things like that when it comes to certain stuff. So I'm just going to keep it safe, bro. And I'm speaking as Bill. I'm not speaking as FCN. Although, yes, I am the president of FCN Watchdog Media, and Marquise Kimble, the other guy, he is the executive director of FCN Watchdog Media. We are the founders of this company, and yeah, that's what we do. But I'm speaking as me right now. All right. All right. No, you don't mess with this, buddy. Go on out there. Okay. Thank you, little man. So August 23rd, 24th, whatever, I take my grandbaby, we're doing our thing. And my daughter, she goes out. She's having a great time for her weekend. She had some, disputes with her boyfriend. She wanted some alone time, gave it to her, whatever. Well, during this time, she gets home from being out drinking with her friend. And she comes home and under the advice of her friend, because we had a dog, still do have the dog, she went ahead and she lit a candle, and then don't have any more, buddy. Go on out there. Lit a candle, went in the shower. I'm guessing my dog, Marquise, my dog, she gets really excited. Zoomies running around. So guessing she probably knocked the candle over, caused the fire in the house, and my home burnt down. So that night, we're speaking with the investigator. He does a little check. He said he thought it was a little weird because there was some fire burns on the front of the house there. So he wanted to check it to see if there was any accelerants. And he checked and he said there wasn't. He discovered nothing. And he said he's going to go ahead and rule the fire an accident. He doesn't think it was intentionally set. Spoke to me, my daughter, and my son as we're all standing there. So cool. Anyway, my neighbor across the street sends a video to my daughter. Says it looks like something was thrown at the building. So, of course, my daughter's taking a look at the video. That girl also sends it to the investigator under the advice of my daughter. She says, yeah, here's the investigator. Send it to him. So she sends it to him. Sends him, I don't know, she sends him 2 or 3 videos. I'm not exactly sure the amount. But anyway, the investigator calls my daughter and me down. We go meet with him on Monday. He starts accusing my daughter indirectly. And of course, I got a little bit upset about it, and it led to him eventually getting charges pressed against my daughter. So she was facing 2 counts of arson, 1 in the first degree, 1 in the second degree. So she would have seen, she could have seen 20 years of prison if she was convicted. But during this investigation, first off, her rights were never read to her, ever once. Second, this guy got a warrant for her arrest, and also got a warrant for her phone. So he got her phone, said he was going to investigate her phone and look 3 days before and 3 days after the fire. Instead, he went back like 5 or 6 months and gathered some information out of there. So anyway, we got these videos and we're looking at the video, and we can see that the building was already on fire, the front of the building, and shrapnel and debris from the overhang was starting to drop down. And that's what dropped down and started the secondary fire in the front of the house, which then at this time now the fire guy is calling the fire at the front of the house the primary burn, not the secondary burn. He's saying that he has a video of somebody throwing a incendiary device at the building. So when you look at the fire, you'll see debris falling from the overhang. He says that's the point where somebody threw, he said Reagan threw an incendiary device at the building. So, we're looking at the video. We got the same videos he has. There's nobody in the video throwing anything. You don't see anything being thrown. You don't see anybody throwing anything. You don't see anybody. You don't see shit being thrown. It's just, it's a scam of a lie that this guy started up. And then he, on a police report, he put on there that my daughter said that she didn't want to come back and live with me because I had sexually assaulted her. And that is the biggest chunk of shit, because there was a conversation in the, hold on, my daughter is here right now. I got to go let her in. Hold on. Reagan, I'm doing a live video on a thing right now. So with Marquise telling our story. So anyway, she actually had been in a conversation with her fiance in this conversation that this investigator said that he took out of her phone, and she was speaking with her current boyfriend at this time about her ex, where she used to live, and she was being sexually assaulted with her ex, and she didn't want to go back living there. She says she'd rather be homeless than that. So she was specifically talking about her ex in that message, and it's clearly laid out. But this guy put it in the report insinuating me, and we believe that he went to the grand jury and he used that information and lied. We believe that he went to the grand jury and lied and said he had a video, just like he went to the judge and lied and said he had a video showing my daughter throwing an incendiary device at the building. None of that was true. This guy had lied from beginning of this thing to the very end. Said my daughter was uncooperative, not giving her the last name, not giving him the last name of the friend that she was with. He clearly, in the very first interview that he did with her, which we had, he asked her last name, and she clearly said it right to him. Just said it. Didn't stutter, didn't hold anything back. Just completely said her name. No anything. Complete 100% cooperation. This guy did nothing but lie and lie and lie. So where are we at with it today? We have a $10 million lawsuit against the city and against the state and against the county and against their actors that were part of this, and with the actors that are a part of it in the city, county, and in the state. All of them. We have like 14 different named defendants in our case that has been going on ever since, I believe we filed it in August. So the judge has been allowing some things to go through, and the only thing that we see right now is them trying to do everything they can to get me off the case, because they said my civil rights weren't violated. Oh, they certainly were violated. You got me as a suspect on the report. You said stuff about me in that report. You went, when my daughter was being arraigned for the first time in the common pleas court, you went up in there and you held up the paperwork and handed it to the judge, and you said something about me being past due on taxes, which I wasn't past due on taxes. So there was just so much lies that this guy was trying to create a motive. And if he couldn't use the motive of the taxes, when they found out they were wrong about that, they decided that they were going to go ahead and use a different route. They said, we have a couple different scenarios. And this is where we knew that they were going to try and use the scenario of saying that I did something to my daughter and make it where she was being vengeful or something. I believe that was probably going to be the twist that they were going to use. But all of the things that they have on this 24-page police report, they didn't even bring the police report up into the trial. And you were at the trial. So for those of you who are listening to this right now, I want you to listen to this. My daughter was put on a $25,000 bond for the one charge, and then she was put on house arrest for the other charge. So we paid her $25,000 bond, got it worked out. So she was out on ankle monitor. Day one of the trial, first day of the trial. After that first day was over, which you could see the judge getting frustrated. She was so sick of the bullshit that the prosecutors were trying to do. Yes, she was. And so she told the attorney for my daughter, said, have your client stop at the deputy's office tomorrow morning so they can take her ankle monitor off of her. Now, we didn't request, she didn't request, there had never been any request for a change in bail. But this judge decided, you know what? This girl didn't do shit. I'm going to go ahead and take her off this ankle monitor. And she was taken off that ankle monitor Friday morning and was left off of her ankle monitor all weekend. She did what she wanted. She went where she wanted. And the last day of trial was on Monday, and went in, and the jury found her not guilty. Her attorney, no, not her attorney. I can't remember who said it. I don't want to be wrong on it, but somebody that we spoke to that was important said that the jury stayed longer on it just to make it look like they were doing their due diligence. They were actually done and already had a not guilty verdict in just a matter of a few minutes. They were probably not guilty on day one of the trial, that they had to go through and fill out the form just like they're supposed to.
Absolutely. And then let's not forget, Charles. See, these people need to understand that there's more corruption going on downtown than what they think there is.
Oh, you want to talk about Charlie?
Yeah, Charles Roger Hall Jr. needs to be mentioned.
Okay, I'm going to mention him right now. I love you, buddy. I'll see you later, okay? I'll see you tomorrow. I'm saying bye to my grandbaby and my daughter. See you guys later. Okay, honey, bye. So Charles Roger Hall Jr., let me talk about this guy. This guy comes from Marion, Ohio. He was a prosecutor on a case of a guy last name Vera. He was being charged for strangulation, kidnapping, or a couple other things, right? And I guess there was no evidence against this guy. Everything pointed to the fact that this guy didn't do it. And Mr. Charles Roger Hall, rather than acting as a prosecutor, taking an oath in pursuit of the truth, decided, no, I need to prosecute this guy. I'm a prosecutor and I'm going to prosecute him. I want him to go to jail because that's my job. That's what I do. I make it send people to jail. This is just a narration that I'm adding in there for you guys who don't know. Can't say that that's what Roger was thinking, but that's just a narration. But anyway, this guy, he gets, after this Vera guy's found not guilty, he becomes somewhat of the laughing stock of the county, embarrassed. The head prosecutor there, the one that was voted in, said, bro, I need your resignation. You got to go. He leaves. And where does his ass pop up at? Pops up at Lucas County. So now he's here in Lucas County. And guess who had the privilege of meeting him for the very first time when I went to go down there to find out how do I go about finding out how to do an information request under the FOIA Act, Freedom of Information. I go down there, talk to a lady. She sends out Mr. Charles Roger Hall Jr. to me. Mr. Hall is telling me that he's not going to help me to do anything that's going to help gather information against one of his colleagues, because I'm going after the prosecutor too, because the prosecutor is a liar. He lied just as much as the investigator did. So we have Charles Roger Hall Jr. telling me I'm not going to help you gather information against my colleague. Literally said that right to my face. I get a little bit loud with him, just a little bit, like loud like I am now. I'm like, bro, are you serious? You're really going to tell me you're going to have an oath to your buddy instead of to the people that you said you were going to? Lady in the prosecutor's office, she presses the button. Next thing you know, myself, Marquise, he's with me, and he's got my grandbaby with me, who he just got through taken to the bathroom. We're surrounded by about 12, 13 deputies in the court, a few of them which had their hands on their gun, all because I raised my voice. Now, let me add to this. You can't get into this building with a working cell phone. You can't get into this building with a weapon. So why do I have all of these deputies running upstairs with their hands on their gun, just in the process of me trying to hold Mr. David Burrell accountable for what he has done, and that is falsely prosecute my daughter without any evidence. He knew what he was doing, and yeah, he's going to pay for it. He's going to pay.
Right. And it's just, like I said, I mean, when I'm talking to our crowd and people, they've seen you in a lot of our videos. They've seen you when you've been, because, I want to thank you publicly in front of people. Without your support, I was going to give up on all of my situations, even though these cases that I have right now are all still pending. We got the McNeil Chevrolet federal case frozen since August of 2025. Don't ask me why. These bastards were able to sell that dealership in the midst of a civil rights complaint. I still don't understand for the life of me how McNeil Chevrolet got away with that. But the reality is the case is frozen. Nothing I can do about it. The Swanton Police Department case, the judge decided to dismiss that case because he's decided that I must pay for the case. I cannot get it done where I didn't have to pay the fees. So we then took care of the fees back in December, and the judge then told us that after the fees were taken care of, then he would then, with a motion that went along with it, he would allow that case to be reopened and be heard on the merits. We're still at a standstill. However, in the midst of that, Mr. Amato was the only guy that stood up with me and went into that Swanton police department, and asked them for the Freedom of Information Act, asked them for information pertaining to my situation, and they flat out ignored him. They ignored me. They did not give us anything that we asked for. And this is a flat out violation of the Freedom of Information Act. So I want our public to know that we became a team based upon our two situations. We didn't sit back and just talk about making a change. We have got our feet wet. We've been, our boots have been on the ground. We've been in multiple courtrooms. We've been on the streets, on the corners. We've been talking to people. And if you need our assistance, today is your day to reach out to us. We're on every single platform there is. No situation is too big for us to take a look at. We are a national civil rights organization and media company. So the reality of it is we can assist you with the official regulatory complaints you need to make, because these bastards will keep getting away with all of these things the longer you stay silent and do nothing about it.
That is the truth.
And we didn't do that. We didn't stay silent. We brought our cases to the public. And one thing different about us compared to any other media company out there, we've notified the public every step of the way. Every move we've made, every motion we filed. We've not only spent the time bringing it to you all so you guys can see the process, but now we've also gotten approved by the Honorable Judge what's his name in Toledo?
Judge Ken Walls.
Judge Ken Walls approved our organization to be able to record a situation right now that is current in the Toledo area. And we are in the courtroom. So the reality of it is, like I said, we're not just a company that just decided, oh, we just want to find a way to make money off of people. We've decided that what we've learned, we want to show people, because there's more people like us across the United States than there are not. There are more people that feel like I'm obligated to call an attorney. If I get in an accident, I got to call an attorney. If somebody screws me over, I got to call an attorney. Well, that attorney may be screwing you over and you don't even know it. I've been screwed by attorneys. So attorneys don't put a good taste in, they don't leave a good taste in my mouth. Because I've already been through scamified attorneys, one of which I have to sue in court because I'm violating my rights.
Yep, these judges, these attorneys, prosecutors, they just think they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, whatever they want to do, because listen, they're all going to lunch together. Like I said, we've been in the courtroom. We can see these bastards right before court starts. They're all laughing it up, talking about their kids' soccer games. And then as soon as court starts, now we're going to play the field and act like we're enemies. You just was golfing last week together. What type of I don't even understand. That is the biggest conflict of interest that I've ever seen in my life. So you mean to tell me that a judge can go out to eat with the prosecutor and then come in court, come up here, oh, let me approach the bench. Okay, well, you're going to approach the bench to talk about the person that's accused, but the person that's accused can't hear what you're talking about. What kind of a scam is that? So the attorney, the prosecutor, and the judge gets to secretly talk while the person that's accused has to stand there and not know anything that they're talking about.
Yeah, ain't that some shit?
That's the biggest scam I've ever seen. So wait a minute. I don't get to know what type of deals you two are working out with the judge? Like, it's ridiculous. And then the person that you've retained then has to come back to the table and tell you what type of deal that they worked out. But you didn't get to hear it. You didn't get to have any input. They get to tell you what the deal is after they've approached the bench. That's the biggest scam I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is with these fuckers that just they think that, you know, they got this power and they think they're powerful.
Right. Or they think they're powerful because nobody checks them. Nobody checks them. If you don't ever check, misconduct, then it'll continue. It'll stay. It'll always continue if you don't ever check misconduct at the door. You have to check it at the door. Whenever there's misconduct, a lot of times people are afraid to speak out because they're afraid of the retaliation. They're afraid of what they're going to get, the backlash they're going to get because of it. No, you mistreated me and you're doing things that are illegal. Then why in the world do you get to get away with it?
Yep. And you know what? No matter how big or how small the situation, they're willing to kill you over it.
Right.
I don't care if it's a stick of gum, because this is what happens. If and it's even the assumption, if they feel like you might have done something and they want to make you cooperate and you choose not to cooperate, you choose to no, well, then they're going to they're going to arrest you. And if you refuse arrest, they're going to become violent with you. And if you try to defend yourself, they're going to use deadly force against you. It does not matter. In the end, you either fucking comply or you fucking die. That is how it is.
Right. Well, the reality of it is, the key is, I guess I'm not going to even say nothing wrong about that. You're right about that. However, they have to understand that I'm not afraid to pull your happy ass in court, just like you would pull me in court. See, the problem I believe it happens is a lot of times when people get into these issues with these police officers, it's because they don't wait until the proper time to bring up the issue that they had with the police officer. So put it this way, if I'm on the road tonight, I know that I, as a black man, and I know I'm going to get people that's going to disagree with me. I don't give a damn. You ain't black, you ain't walked in my shoes, then you don't get to tell me what it feels like to drive at nighttime and a police officer in 2026 pulls up behind me, a person that doesn't even have a record. I still have my own thoughts and feelings about it, and I'm entitled to it. And the reality of it is, I believe that a lot of times things get out of hand with these police officers, because if I get in a vehicle tonight and I go driving somewhere and a police officer pulls me over and he acts like an ass, my job is to keep my life. That's my only most important thing to do here, is to make sure I walk away with my life. So I'm going to let him act like an ass. He can do all the things he wants to do. But you know what, buddy? I'm going to see your happy ass in court. That's the way you fight back. That's how they fight us.
Yep.
Anytime there's a dispute, guess what? You receive something from the court where you have to defend yourself. If an officer gets out of pocket with me, I'm going to keep my life. So if you want me to sit up here and call you Officer Billy and, oh, look you in the eye and, oh, call you sir and whatever the hell I got to do, I'm not going to get disrespectful with you. You have a license to kill me and you can get away with the shit tonight. So I'm not finna do none of this with you, Mr. Officer Billy Bob, Buster Bob, whatever your name scam is. But if you get out of pocket with me, I'm taking mental notes of everything that happened tonight. If I got a way to record your ass, you will be on candy camera just like you put me on candy camera. And if you break the law and violate my rights, I will see your ass in court. And that badge you wear represents the department, not you. It represents the department. So you have an obligation to live up to the standards of that department. If you choose not to, I have a right as a citizen to take your ass to court.
Yep. And that's what we want to teach you guys how to do. We want to teach you guys how to get the correct paperwork filled out, how to formulate your argument correctly in your documentation. Now, we can't give you any advice. We can't tell you what to say, what not to say. We can't tell you to fight. We can't tell you not to fight. But if you want to fight, we will help you fight. We will help you put things together the right way, and you can get out there and you can handle your business.
That's right. That's right. Because, like he said, we're not attorneys. Let's make us. I'm gonna be a second voice to make that perfectly clear. So don't no scam turn around and try to file no kind of complaints or anything when it comes to us. We are not attorneys. We are not legal. We can't give you any type of legal advice. However, we are legal advocacy. In the legal advocacy company, we can provide advocacy. Let me break down what advocacy for you, what it is. Not only is it support, but we have an audience of over 250,000 people across all of our platforms, and we're not going to stop broadcasting your scam. So if you dealt with a story, somebody mistreated you, and you want to fight back, you're not just fighting back legally when you connect with us. You're going to fight back in the public eye because we're also going to expose the story. See, the biggest thing is a lot of these people get away with stuff because they're not being exposed. The news gets to pick and choose who they want to expose. And you better damn believe they make whoever they want out to be a criminal, but they will skate past the real criminals all day and all night. When we started FCN, we wanted to be able to expose it all. It doesn't matter what the story is. If you're a scamified preacher, you better not come across our desk because we believe in exposure. Why? Because you should not be able to get away with this stuff silently.
Yep. And you know, we've had a couple people contact us already about some stuff, and they were in pursuit of selling us their story. So I want to tell you guys something right off the bat. FCN is not interested in buying any story from anybody about anything. So we're that's not what we're in the business for. We're in the business of helping people get their legal situation straightened out, get their situation straightened out to where they know how to be able to take care of their own finances with credit, with taxes, and other things. That's what we are. We're a civil rights organization. We're a watchdog media, and we're not paying for stories. So, you know, if you need some help and you want some help, reach out to us for the help so we can help you. Don't reach out to us to try to buy your news story. We're not interested in buying your news story.
No. And then also we're looking for volunteers, and it doesn't matter what state you're in. Once again, this is a brand new thing that we just started up. If you want to ride with us and then be on that end, when we look at the end of the mountain, we see what we have done, because we're going to try to establish this across all 50 states. Hear me good. This is not something that we're just going to establish here in Ohio. This is something that it doesn't matter what state you're in. I believe there's crooked ass cops and crooked ass attorneys and judges in every single state that there is. If you don't believe me, look up the latest news of the federal judges that have gotten caught in embezzlement. The reality of it is you cannot trust everybody on the bench. You can't trust everybody behind the badge. So don't get mad at me because I'm calling out your bad apples. The reality of it is somebody should be calling out the bad apples.
Yeah.
Because I've heard that stupid story. Oh, you can't put them all in one bad bunch. Until somebody calls out the bad apples, I put them all in one bunch because they all represent one department.
And the department knows what they've done. There's other police officers that know what they've done, and they're not saying nothing.
Right, absolutely. I mean, how in the hell does an attorney get away with blatantly filing a fake-ass protection order against me and you?
Yeah.
And no type of consequences are done. He should be disbarred. How in the world do you get away with that? You mean to tell me I can have a law license and just make up some shit and file it in the court and get away with it because I'm a lawyer?
Oh, especially if you get it done in these little small little white towns where they scratch each other's back, you know?
Exactly. Unfortunately, that's exactly how I feel about what the hell happened in Ottawa County. Because let's go back on what happened to me there, Bill. I show up as a defendant for a fake ass protection order that this guy filed against me for using my own platforms to expose what he did. And then when I get there, this 1 day event turned into a 2-day trial where I had to sit there and watch this jackass run through every video he wanted from my platforms for him to try to convince the judge that I harassed him. None of this happened, but the guy wasted the court's time, wasted the taxpayers' dollars, and guess what? We both still got to go back to court for this same bullshit. Where's the consequences for that, Bill?
Yeah. Yep. And and he was able to get one on me, and the dude's a scam, man. I in my opinion, he's a damn scam.
Well, I mean, he is a scam, but my point is, how do these people in authority get away with no consequences where you and I cannot get away with it? If we did anything, if I called somebody acting like the police, guess what they're going to do? They're going to show up at my house and arrest me. But people at McNeil Chevrolet, executive managers, can call me on the phone acting like the police. I get a police report and they get away with it. That's what I'm saying. There has always been a line in the sand when it comes to African American versus white, because there's no way possible anybody I know in my family could have gotten away with calling somebody acting like the police and not being arrested. Somebody showing up at their door with the silver bracelets. But yet I complain about it. It's going on in the middle of a civil rights battle between me and McNeil's and the Swanton Police Department and State Farm, all wrapped up into the same situation. And nobody questions McNeil's. State Farm doesn't question McNeil's. Swanton Police Department doesn't question McNeil's. Nobody questions the people that could have been suspects in the break-in and vandalization of my store. But yet I get treated as a suspect. They don't read me any rights either, Bill. So let's not forget that. On the videos that have been broadcasted all over social media, you can watch every interrogation video that we have shown. You show me one time that those cops read me some rights, or my sister.
Yeah, they're fucking scams, dude. I'm telling you, I just can't wait till they get theirs, man. They need to get theirs. You know,
absolutely.
As far as Shinover goes, I don't know how far that punishment needs to go. I think to an extent he needs to lose his license to practice law because he's abusing it, and he's used that to put a protection order against you and then one against me. And I mean, if anybody didn't do anything to the guy, I fucking didn't do anything. You didn't do anything, but if anybody really didn't do anything, it's me.
Absolutely, because the only thing you did was defend me.
That's it. I just defended you, and I got a protection order put against me. Yeah, that's a scam. So, you know, I really believe that he needs to lose his license to practice law. And I really believe the judges or magistrate or whoever implemented this shit too, to allow it to even happen. They need to have some type of punishment against them as well, because this is bullshit.
Well, I mean, I put in an official complaint with the Supreme Court against Judge Bruce Winters for him signing this, because at the end of the day, you as a judge have a duty. Not a fucking whether you want to do it or not, guy. You have a duty to take a look at the evidence and make sure it's legitimate before you enact anything legally. How do you enact something against somebody that's never been a criminal because of what somebody said? So, of course, I filed a Supreme Court complaint against the judge. You think anything's going to happen? Probably not. But this attorney... oh, I'm not letting it go. Shinover Law Firm, I'm not afraid to call your name. Why? Because first of all, these are our platforms. And you don't get to control what I say. You broke the law, buddy. And part of what we do is expose. You're not going to have me walking on eggshells to expose to the public that you are currently involved in a lawsuit that is in Lucas County Court of Common Pleas because of your lies.
Yes, he is.
And I would once again tell our whole audience, do not hire Shinover Law Firm for nothing at all. I give them the -0 rating. Why? Because not only me, but my friend has to waste our time to go back to a court to defend something that we didn't even do. Hour and some 9-hour drive away. This guy lives in Port Clinton. How in the world are you fair for your life and you live an hour away from us? You scam. I feel like I took over the whole platform. You're not saying anything, and we got 52 people watching right now, you scam.
Bro, I'm letting you speak from your heart. You're a scam.
Well, I didn't want it to turn into me again because it once again feels like it's somehow riding over into my story. But my story is so big to me because it's went on for years and nobody has been checked for it.
Well, their time is coming, bro. Their time is coming.
You know, how the hell does McNeil Chevrolet, we're going to sell the dealership? Okay, so you bastards got away with calling me Harambe, Toby, the token black, for 7+ years as the finance manager until I resigned. And wasn't going to even go after you guys. Wasn't going to say nothing about it. Was going to let the stuff go. I let it go, matter of fact. But then you tell me that I'm hearing through the city, you're planning on suing the Swanton Police Department. This is what the executive manager McNeil's told me. Because after I worked there for 7 years, I still kept a relationship with these people. So me and the executive manager, ex-manager Jason Koss, were still on speaking terms. This guy calls me on the phone one day out the blue and says, hey, I'm hearing through this town, you're planning on suing the police department. I said no, because at that time I was not going to go after the police. And he said, well, I'm saying because if you are, then we're going to have to disassociate ourselves with you. This is what the guy from McNeil's tells me. Then he contacts me later, acting like the same Swanton Police Department that mistreated me.
Contacted you years later, let's be clear.
Years later.
All right. And after he said that if you go after the Swanton Police Department, we're going to have to cut ties with you. And you didn't even go after the Swanton Police Department, and he cut ties with you anyway, correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
But the reality is it was somebody was spilling the beans throughout Swanton that I was going after the police for their misconduct. And I tell you right now, and this is my own beliefs, I believe it came from nobody other than the mayor. Because me and the mayor had direct conversations. This guy used to watch my live videos of me singing karaoke at 2:00 in the morning. Then all of a sudden he just cut me off. But then we got direct conversations of me talking to him about the misconduct that his police officers did to me and my sister. He tells me we're going to get another police officer, a police department involved to help investigate. And then they dropped the investigation 7 days after the break-in. Soon as I hired an attorney. So this whole entire web of scam in Swanton, I'm not giving up until somebody fesses up to what the hell happened to my business. And then those that were involved in this misconduct are held accountable. You don't get to just take somebody's DNA and tell them, what does he want us to do? Give it back. You don't get to do that. Where do we get to do that at? I thought there was a constitution in place to protect people, especially their own DNA. They fingerprinted me on the spot the day of the break-in, and I wasn't even at the store for over a week. So explain that to me, Swanton Police Department. But they got away with it. The mayor didn't even correct him. How are you a leader and somebody shows you evidence of what your officers did involved in misconduct and you do nothing about it? What type of a scam are you? Why do you get to stay the mayor? So I hate that this turned into me talking about all three of my cases right now, but the reality is, what do you expect? You're not saying anything, you scam.
Bro, you stole the mic. That's how it always works. We could get on here for an hour. You're going to get 55 minutes of it.
I'm sorry. Listen,
you can't yell at me when you steal it all the time. You steal the thunder all the time. You're a scam.
Listen, I'm not trying to steal anything. I'm just trying to let these people know that we are here to support you, assist you, and it's our own situations that caused us to create FCN Watchdog Media.
Absolutely.
I mean, we came together and said, we're not going to just sit back and fight, but we want to take our fight to the public and show the public how to fight. Because at the end of the day, unless you want to go the rest of your life paying attorneys that are going to be telling you whatever you want to hear, you better learn the law for yourself. And stop allowing people to tell you what they tell their interpretation of the law is.
Yeah, you got to think, folks. A lot of these people, you know, I can tell you they went to law school together. I could tell you that. I could tell you that if they're in Ohio, they all got their law license from the same place, the Ohio Supreme Court. They are all cut from the exact same cloth. Attorneys, judges, prosecutors. A prosecutor is an attorney, just elevated to the level of prosecutor. Was a defense attorney, now is a prosecutor. You know, they have to get that same license. So, you know, they and now they hang out in the same buildings together all day, guys. They go to each other's fucking dinner parties. How do you expect there to be any type of I don't know, what's there to keep everybody honest, right? There's nothing in place to keep everybody honest. It's a big ass conflict of interest is what's going on, and it's at our expense. And I'm tired of that shit. I'm tired of, like Marquis said, these people going up to the judge and having their little quiet powwows forever, how long that takes to come back, and you don't even know what the fuck they talked about. You know, your own attorney won't even tell you what the fuck they talked about. It's ridiculous. This is not the way that it's supposed to be. And these judges are supposed to interpret the law. They're supposed to make sure that each side is operating within the law, but the judges don't do that. They actually take sides, and that's fucked up. That's not what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to remain unbiased about what's going on. The only thing that they're supposed to have a bias towards is the law. Nothing else. Nothing fucking else. But they do it anyway. And it's
right. And I believe it's because there's not enough checks and balances. There's not enough watchdog groups. There's not enough people in the community that's saying, no, we're not going to take this scam. What do you mean? There's no reason under the sun that people like Charles Roger Hall Jr. should be serving in Lucas County. And you know what takes and gets him out of there is when people in the community says, hell no, we don't want this scam. Why do we want a scam that literally just was found guilty of filing false charges in a different county? How does he even get a job here? Where's the protest about it? Where's the outrage? He's going to do it to somebody else here, and guess what? It might be one of your family members. That guy should not be sitting in that position whatsoever. But it's going to take the community to stand up. This is why FCN was created, because we want to connect with those in the community that are sick and tired of being sick and tired, like my mama used to say. How can you expect change if you're not going to do anything about it? We know this guy's a scam, then why is he a prosecutor in Lucas County? That's my question. Yeah. How in the world, who signed this guy's Declaration of Independence? who gave this guy a license to do anything in a different county when he clearly broke the law in another county? Somebody should be regulating this stuff. Somebody should be saying, wait, what the hell? But no, you got council members that sit on council and they're not doing anything. They don't care because everybody's scratching each other's backs. Everybody's getting a handout some kind of way because they're fighting for a position. Well, guess what? At the expense of your freedom, your rights, you or your family member might be wrongfully charged one day because Charles Roger Hall Jr. is still sitting in the office.
Yep, and you know, when you guys take a look at the oath that the police officers and lawyers and shit like that they take an oath to uphold and the Constitution and to protect the citizens from all enemies, foreign and domestic, you know, and uphold the Constitution of our state. It says nothing about upholding Ohio revised codes and fucking ordinances. It doesn't say anything about that. But see, what happens is these guys get in their fucking position of job and they forget about the Constitution that they said that they were going to uphold. They forget about that shit. Now they're obeying the Ohio revised codes and doing what their boss tells them to do when it comes to Ohio revised codes. What happened to the Constitution you said you were going to uphold, motherfucker? Now you're on codes and ordinances. What the fuck is that all about? Those codes and ordinances, they go against the Constitution. How in the fuck do you allow that to happen?
Well, see, the oath that I had to sign as a notary not only told me that I must uphold the United States Constitution, but I also have to uphold this state of Ohio's Constitution. So the reality is that's the same oath that these guys take.
Right. It's the same one.
So the reality is nobody's making them uphold it because you're right. It's the stupid rules and codes and regulations and all of this stuff that the independent states have in place. Yep. Forget the Constitution that says you have a right to counsel, which means counsel at that time meant, like you said, could have been your neighbor, could have been your pastor, could have been your brother, your sister. Anybody could have given you counsel. But then all of a sudden, here comes the state saying, oh, no, this guy that's been, who we say who we stamped and approved as an attorney, he's qualified to defend you. You're not smart enough to read the law yourself and stand in there in front of the judge. And that's the difference between what happens today and what used to happen. Because back in the day, it wasn't like this.
Nope, it wasn't. They changed it to benefit them so they could have control over the legal system. They monetized it.
Right. You know, and it's just another scamified way to put it to take advantage of the taxpayer. And that's ridiculous. So, like I said, I mean, I'm thankful for what we've established. We're not going to do nothing but keep getting bigger. I mean, and when I look at the analytics and I look at our LinkedIn and I look at our Facebook and I look at our YouTube and I look at our views, every day we're getting more and more followers and people that are watching what we're doing. You've seen it yourself. You said only a couple people have reached out to us. No, we've had multiple people reach out to us since we've actually established ourselves. We can go back.
I'm talking about the people that have wanted like money for their stories. Yeah, we've had quite more than just a couple people. I'm just talking about the couple that wanted money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, see, now I haven't come across them. They haven't emailed me directly. So, yeah, I give them 2 middle fingers, too. There's no way that we're buying your story. We don't need to buy your story. We're not trying to. We are independent. I want you to understand what independent means. We're not taking and riding the coattails of nobody else to make it to the top. And we got to be in this dust and mud ourselves one by one until we grow. That's what we're going to do. So any of you scams that want to reach out to us because you think we're going to partner and whatever you might think, you're wrong. It's not going to happen. This is a media organization, but more than anything, we are civil rights. And that's the one thing you ain't going to get when you call the local news. You're not going to get the support of a civil rights organization when your rights have been violated. That's why we're media and civil rights.
Yeah, media don't give a shit about you.
Absolutely. But we want to be able to report the real story, the true story, not the half-assed story that the news gives 30 seconds on and highlights what they want to.
Yep.
If you're a child predator, you better not come across our desk.
Got that.
You messing over children, you better not come across our desk. We are not just here to protect people we're protecting children, we're protecting fathers, we're protecting mothers, we're protecting anybody that their rights have been violated. This is what the churches aren't even doing this. You can go to the church today for some advice, and guess what you're going to get? Sow a seed.
Yep, I'll pray for you.
I'll pray for you. Oh, the Bible talks about when you say pray for somebody, if there's no action behind your prayer, then you might as well kept your stupid I'll pray for you, because there's no action behind it. Faith without works is dead. Faith without actions is dead. So at the same time, you can't say I'm going to pray for you, but then that's all I'm going to leave you with. That's what bothers me more about these churches than anything.
That's why I don't want to go to that one church, that I'll pray for you church.
Yeah. But unfortunately, that's most of the churches today.
Yep.
If you call any one of these mega churches up and say, I'm getting ready to lose my house, and my wife left me, and I don't got no money, and things are going bad with me, see what they do for you. They gonna tell you pray. They gonna tell you, oh, Jesus is gonna make it all right. Well, where's the action behind it? Where's your, let me give you something to do. Let me help you in some kind of way. And that's what we're going to do for our community. We're not just making this thing up so we can just blow up and become big. We want to give back to our community. We want to be able to purchase properties and give them to single parent homes. We want to be able to train your children on how to properly be ready for a job interview, how to properly protect their credit. These are things that schools aren't even doing. That's what we're trying to do. That's why you should partner with FCN Watchdog Media. And you can do it by going to our website, FCNWatchdogMedia.org. It's very simple. You can join for $5 a month. Your $5 a month is helping somebody else get their rights, get their rights back that were violated. That's what your $5 a month is doing. It's helping a guy that doesn't understand what this scamified system is doing to him. And he doesn't know how to speak up for himself. That's what your $5 a month is doing.
Yeah.
You notice I didn't say sold $500 like these scamified churches are saying. I said $5. You can spend that at McDonald's in 10 seconds. But $5 a month will help somebody else that doesn't know what they can do in return of the misconduct that they're experiencing. So I appreciate where we're going. And we are just going to keep getting there bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm just thankful. I mean, like I said, we're talking to over 15,000 people right now. They're all not watching at the same time. I've been watching, people jumping in, people jumping out. We got people on Facebook watching, and we got people on YouTube watching. So as long as we get our voice out there to people, there's going to be more and more people that are going to reach out to us. So if you guys, here's the thing. We're going to sum this up because I know I've talked long enough. I'm going to sum this up with how you need to contact us. First of all, you can go to our website at FCNWatchdogMedia.org. You need to contact us by email, support@FCNWatchdogMedia.org. I'm going to say that again, support@FCNWatchdogMedia.org. You can reach out to us with your story. We'll review it with you. And if it's a situation that needs immediate exposure, we'll have your story all over our platforms within hours after speaking with you. Because a lot of times, again, the misconduct goes on because they do it in silence. Nobody's advocating for them. All this stuff I've been going through with the Swanton Police Department, you want to know how many times I tried to reach out to 13 Action, 11 News? They won't even talk to me. Do you have anything else to add, sir?
No, man, I think we covered it all for everybody, and like you said, that $5 a month, if you guys can help us out, it really does. I mean, we haven't received any funds yet for anything that we've done so far. We really haven't been pushing that part. We've just been out, trying to do our best to help people out. We've got a lot of time, and when I tell you there's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars invested into this to make all of the legal paperwork and everything done to get everything in place. It took a lot of time and a lot of money, and most of the time was Marquise's time. He did most of all the work to get us legal and everything like that. So hats off to him for all of that. And now we want to be able to really continue to keep doing this, helping people. I mean, we just helped a young lady last week or the week before, who was having an issue where she wasn't able to get her brother laid to rest because he was married and couldn't get a hold of the ex-wife, and she deserted him 25 years ago. Well, I was able to get all the paperwork and everything worked up through probate and get her off and relieved and disposition of rights given to his sister, so she could go ahead and put her brother to rest and close that chapter in her life so she could have some closure. So I was able to do that. That's something that we at FCN did, and we did it on the same day. And so that made her really happy. And I mean, these are just the things that we can reach out and do to help people. We can work through the legal system, help you guys understand what needs to be understood. Like I said, can't give you advice, but we can help formulate your paperwork in a correct order where it's going to be satisfactory to the courts, and help you understand how to continue doing that forward, help you to understand the argument that you're trying to raise, help you understand how to search case law so you can be able to understand how to go into the court and argue whatever it is that you're going to be arguing, because you're going to have to do that. We can't do that for you, but we can teach you and we can get you prepped. And if you have nothing to learn but your case, how well are you going to be at your case? Who can argue your position better than you? I don't think anybody can argue you better than you when you know you're right and you're passionate about it. So all you need to do is know your rights going in there. There's no attorney that can do better than you. And, we can show you how to study the right things so that when you go in there, you'll be well prepared and well versed, and you'll be able to do what you need to do and have confidence while doing it.
And the one thing that I would actually have to disagree with on the statement you said was we don't have any donations or we didn't have any support. Well, I have to say I have to beg to differ there, just for the public's perspective. We did. We actually have had a fundraiser on January 29th, 2026 at Red Robin in Toledo, Ohio on Monroe Street, where we not only generated $875 in sales, but $175 is now coming back to FCN Watchdog Media in donations because of people mentioning FCN Watchdog Media for that particular fundraiser. And then we have another one coming up this month on February 26th from the hours of 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. The store in Maumee is doing the same exact thing, where they partnered with FCN Watchdog Media in order to, make the public aware of FCN Watchdog Media. But once again, a percentage of what they spend comes back to FCN Watchdog Media as a donation. Then we had a customer reach out to us a couple of days ago that has, asked information on donating $1,500 to our organization. Now, we don't know if that's going to happen yet, because they're going to mail a check, which if you guys are going to mail a check, all that information is on our website. You can mail a check to us as well. But until we can verify those funds, we don't know if those funds are legitimate or not. But that still was another person that reached out to us that wants to donate. So I want you guys to remember, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So that means that anything that you donate to this organization over $275 can be tax write-off on your taxes. So make sure you guys understand, when you're looking for reputable charities to donate to, we're listed with a platinum certification with Candid. We're on every single platform. You just got to type in FCN Watchdog Media and you can see that we're legitimate. We're not in this game to take your money and scam you. We want to take our resources, put it back into the community, and give back to the same community that we came out of. But also, we also want to make a difference in the community and leave something for our children's children to continue to push forth. Because again, this is something that was done independently because we both saw the need for the community. Not only did we take our situation, say, no, we're gonna hold these assholes accountable, but the community are dealing, there's people in the community just like us who did not know or feel like that they're at the end of the road because they don't have the money to hire an attorney. Now, we can't assist you. We can't, if you come to us with a situation where you're flat out guilty and all the evidence is against you, we cannot do anything to help you get out of that situation. So I don't want you to think you're going to call us and you just robbed 50 banks and they got camera evidence against you and everything else, and you think we're going to step in that situation. That's not a situation we can get involved in unless your rights have been violated.
Right.
Because even if you were a criminal in a situation, they still have an obligation to not violate your rights. You can be in jail if your rights are being violated. If you have a family member in jail that's being mistreated, we want to know about it. These jails are on the damn list too. We're not just talking about individual small companies. That's not what we're in this about. There are people in jail being mistreated every single day.
Yep.
Who's watching them? Don't tell me it's the warden. There's people being mistreated in jail every day. And where's their voice at? Who's giving the voice for them? Who's going in there and saying, wait a minute, I don't care that he broke the law. You don't get to break the law because he broke the law. So once again, you guys can support us by visiting our website. Definitely go to our fundraiser events if you're in the Maumee area. Like I said, whatever you spend that day with your family enjoying those Red Robin burgers, and I'm telling you, they are amazing. Once you, whatever you spend, there's a percentage that does come back to FCN Watchdog Media. So that's a way you can support us. We're in the process of developing a 50-50 raffle where we're going to hopefully have it done and set up to where once we get more events in the community, we can then introduce the 50-50 raffle. But right now, those are the two ways you can support us, like I said. And remember, your contribution is a taxable write-off contribution because we are a registered 501c3 nonprofit. Like I said, $5 a month to be a partner with us is very cheap. We're not sitting out here talking about no $500 seed. I saw a church today telling people that if 5 people gave $1,000, they would become millionaires this year. What type of a scam are these people being wrapped up in these churches? I just don't even understand it anymore. So, but yeah, you've gotten real quiet, so we're going to go ahead and end this broadcast. Next time we'll be a little bit more formulated, have some more formulated questions, and because freestyling, I end up taking over. If you don't stop me, then this is what's going to happen. I don't do it on purpose. It's just who I am. It's the preacher in me you scam. So there's nothing I can do, and I'm not apologizing.
No one asked you to. You know me. I don't like to overtalk people. I just chill, bro. I just chill.
Yeah, but I want your input. I don't want it to turn into a Marquise Kimble show. Marquise Kimble is live all the time.
Then Marquise Kimble has to stop stealing the show. I can't do nothing about that. You start taking over. You take over, and it's it. I just let you go.
Well, that's why I said you and I need to get together and have a more formulated, have it all put out on paper exactly of how, an overview of what we're going to do and cover. Because when I freestyle, it's no different than when I freestyle with Bible study. You notice that I'll go through Bible study and I'll start on a scripture and we'll be on that paragraph of that one scripture for 20 minutes.
Yep.
And but you know what? I blame my father-in-law, Bishop Charles Allen, because that was how I learned Bible study. I can tell you, in church all my life, Bill, I've been in multiple churches. Nobody broke those scriptures down like Bishop Charles Allen. And he's the one that taught me how to walk through the scripture. So you don't leave nothing on the table. You don't leave no skin on the bone. So basically, if you're walking through the scripture and you're looking for just the text, you are a scam, because the scripture has a lot more in it. Because in order for you to understand the text you're trying to give, you got to give them what went on before and what went on after. You can't just steal a text and say, and that's what makes a lot of these churches scams today. It's like they open up the book, take something, one line out of there. Oh, this will get the people dancing. And then that's what they use on Sunday. When you're supposed to walk through those scriptures. Don't give me one line and then you want to give me your summons, what's your conclusion of what that one line is. Tell me what the whole scripture means, buddy. That's the only way for us to understand it. So I blame that all on Pastor Allen, man. I'm sorry.
It's all good, bro. I ain't complaining. You're good.
All right, man. Well, thanks tonight, man. Tonight was good. This is what we need to do. I'm going to get a thumbnail on this and get it on our YouTube channels and get it everywhere, because I think the public really needs to understand what we're trying to do here. We're not the average company trying to figure out how to scam you and take advantage of you. We're trying to help you. And the only way we can help you is if you understand that you have rights. And the ones that understand that they have rights are the ones that don't get taken advantage of.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you guys now, scamming, I ain't got no damn energy to scam nobody. I am not trying to scam a damn soul. So yeah, I'm good on that shit.
Neither am I. I've worked my entire life keeping my name clean, and you better believe it's gonna stay clean. That's why I'm fighting Shinover so tough, because he had no right to put a blotch on my name when it was for some false, fake, scamified lies. So no, I'm on the same page as you. Me and you didn't start this to be scams. I'm not trying to go to jail for scamming people, and neither are you.
Nope, I might fuck around and try to become the mayor of this city, straighten some shit out in this bitch.
I don't need to be the mayor. Get me on city council and I'll straighten it out from there. Because the mayor is, once again, his hands are tied. His hands are tied by city council. I'm finding out what this whole, politics means. It's all a scam when it gets to the president. But when you want to change some stuff in your city, in your community, you got to start removing people from the council that don't need to be there anymore. Because those are the ones that are teaching your kids what's happening in school. Those are the ones that are regulating the taxes that your city is paying. Those are the ones that are telling the garbage company who to pick up trash from and who not to pick up trash from. So the reality is, for me, I don't have a desire to run for the mayor. But you put Marquise Kimble on city council, I'll light this city on fire. I'll go through and get rid of every scam that's in there. Because there's scams sitting on city council doing nothing but getting a check.
Yeah, you got that right.
So, but I found that, I'm finding out with the president, you can't be mad at what happens with the president. You got to be mad at what's happening with Congress. They're the ones allowing it. If we're going to go back on anything we learned in school, the president can't do a damn thing besides veto something. So basically, whatever's happening in the economy, that doesn't come down to the president. It comes down to the House and the Senate, which makes up Congress. If you want change these people sitting in Congress for 20 years, 50 years. What the hell does, what's her name? I'm so sick of seeing that woman, Maxwell. What's her name? I don't even know.
Oh, you're talking about Maxine Waters?
Oh, I'm sick of her. I'm so sick of her, because when you look at Maxine Waters' community that she supposedly serves in, it's one of the worst communities in the United States, and nobody calls it out because don't offend the black woman. What do you mean? I'm black. I'll tell you right now, she needs to be removed and retired. How does people like Nancy Pelosi still get to control the House and she's supposedly semi-retired?
Yeah. They're both fucking scams. Maxine Waters is got to be the biggest black scam of all the fucking black scams that are in this country.
Absolutely.
Fucking worst.
Absolutely. She's one of the absolute worst. And I take on anybody that wants to say something to me about it. Let's go walk down through her community and tell me what she has changed. Her community is her district has one of the worst. Go look up the crime rates in her district. She's ridiculous, but yet she can sit on Congress for 30 plus, 40 plus years, can't even talk straight, and yet we blame everything on Donald. Now, Donald has to be held accountable for some things, but when we talk about making change, you must change the fucking the source. And we know that the source is Congress.
Yep.
How do you want laws to change if you're not going to change the people that make them?
Dude, that's why when I saw Nancy Pelosi, dude, out there holding a fucking candle for the for the vigil that they did for George Floyd, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me, dude. That has got to be the absolute most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, this woman, she done sold her soul wherever she can have it accepted.
Absolutely, because you can first of all see that it was fake, and then number two, you can see the plants that are put in the industry to cater more towards the black community, and those that are put in the industry to cater towards the white. That was all a ploy for the black Democratic plantation.
Sure.
That's what that was. That is exactly what that was. But nobody will call that stuff out. And then when I say it, or anybody else like me says it, they call me Uncle Tom. They say I'm a Trump lover. I don't have to love Trump because I'm calling out the misconduct of what on all levels, from Trump to Congress to anybody else. I gotta love Trump because I'm calling out the misconduct on every level that's why I call it all a scam.
That's why Democrats do to an extent can be ridiculous, because if you call out one of theirs for doing something wrong, you have to be supporting Trump. You can't just be a person who's in the middle, who's independent, who doesn't like none of you bitches, and you have fucked up, and you fucked up because you fucked up. It ain't got nothing to do with your political ideology. It has absolutely nothing to do with the color of your skin. You're just a piece of shit who did something, and you should pay for it, but you know how that goes.
I mean, absolutely, it's a double standard. Like, I'm one of the ones that is 1,000% truly offended by what just happened with the Donald Trump thing in the video. I believe it's a scam, and I don't care how, and I've explained that to you. We don't got to get into that. But it's a double standard when America will not call out Joe Biden for standing up there and saying you ain't black if you don't vote for me. Or let's take it back years ago when he said his children, he didn't want his kids to be raised in the jungle. See, these are the things that pisses me off. Democrats, you want to call out Trump for his racism? Where's the call out for Joe Biden for that racist garbage?
Or Joe Biden saying that black kids were just as smart as white kids.
That's what I'm saying. So you don't give me, it's racism that you have never seen before from the White House. Bullshit, because it's been racism. Joe Biden got away with that, and America said nothing. Black America said nothing, and he got away with that. And you want to tell me in the next breath that he's not just as racist as Trump? Stop it. I think Hillary Clinton said some racist bull in the past. Look her up. She said some awful stuff. Every one of them, if you go through every last one of those dang on people that ran for presidency, they have all said some stuff that had something to do with another race that they shouldn't have said, including Barack. Barack Obama was the first one that created the damn cages. The cages for the immigrants. When they were separating the families, they used to call Barack Obama the dang on deporter-in-chief.
Yeah,
but
Over 3 million he's deported.
That's right, and nobody will call that out. But then you want to sit here and blame Trump because he's finally deporting the people that need to get the hell out of the country that don't want to be documented? I don't understand what's wrong with becoming legal. I don't understand it. What is wrong with becoming legal? It doesn't matter who you are.
I can tell you what's wrong with it. It's because of the fact that it's a thing being pushed by Donald Trump. If anybody else was in office saying it, then it would be okay. But it's because it's Donald Trump in office, it's not okay. He can't say that kind of stuff. Anybody else can, but not him.
Well, I guess I'm saying it from the immigrant's perspective. If that is the law, or they're making this the law, okay, because we have to obey the laws of the land, whether we agree with them or not. If the law has now become, if you're not documented, you have to get out of here. Whether we agree with it or not, then your job or your choice should be, well, let me figure out what I have to do to become documented so I can stay here. No, instead, you want to fight the law. You want to fight something that you cannot win. Instead of going the right way and saying, well, okay, well then what does it take for me to become documented? What steps do I have to take so I can become documented? They don't want to do that. They want to fight the law that they cannot control.
Well, it's because of the fact that they believe that Donald Trump is behind it. That's why.
I don't believe, not that I disagree with you on that. Here's what I think it is. It's because when they become documented, they now lose all these illegal benefits that they get. See, right now, illegal immigrant or undocumented immigrants, they can get food stamps, they can get lodging, they can get all kinds of benefits that the government gives them. When you become documented, now things have to become regulated. Now the states get to say, no, you don't get that many stamps. Because you got so many kids, you don't get that many stamps. When you're undocumented, you can go and apply for food stamps and they give you the whole kitchen sink. So I believe that the reason that they don't want to go through the steps is because they're going to lose benefits. It's just like child support.
I think those benefits have already been cut. I think Trump already cut those benefits for illegals.
Well, that's why they're protesting then. Because at the end of the day, if he already cut them, but see, all this went on for years before Trump. All this went on for years before Trump. And so now people have become accustomed to being here. There's nothing wrong with being in the United States, especially if you were born here. Doesn't matter what your race is. But if you were born here and the law has now changed that you must become documented, well, whether you agree with it or not, it's your duty to become documented or they're going to send your ass back to your homeland.
And did you know that even if you were born in this country with parents that are not from this country, it's been established already for years and years and years and years. You do not get citizenship just from being born here. If your parents are from another country, your citizenship is to the country where your parents came from. It doesn't make you an American just because you were born here. And that has already been written long, long, long ago. And guess what? Who else has those rules in their country? Almost every other fucking country.
Well, and then you look at the thing that's what I'm saying. I'm not one of those guys that's going to criticize Trump, but not point out the things that he has done or said that we should take a look at. Now, Trump has said that when it came down to citizenship, let's talk about that. First of all, citizenship was meant for the African slaves. That's what that was meant for. It was meant for the people that came over here against their will, but were born here. That was what citizenship was originally about. That's what Trump even said. He said they robbed the Civil Rights Act when they started putting DEI in there. And here's where this is where black folks piss me off, because they won't study out what DEI became. DEI became a woman's rights thing. It became a transgender's rights thing. They completely took the focus off of black people. So everybody out here fighting for DEI that's black, you sound like an idiot because you didn't study out anything. Because if you studied it out, you would see that DEI was robbed. They robbed it. They did not stay what it was supposed to have become, because they robbed the Civil Rights Act. It became everything that you see today, the alphabet club. Now, if you say, "Oh, you a boy," and you call them a boy, and they don't like that, they can go fight that under the Civil Rights Act because of DEI. But instead, you got black folks saying, "Oh, they're erasing DEI. That means they want to get rid of black people." No. What is wrong with saying if you can't do the job, it don't matter what your color is, you can't get the job?
Right.
I don't understand what America has become. But at the same time, we blame everything on Trump. Now, I'm one of those guys, like I said, he has to be held accountable for the things he does. That's why I can't ever be right or left. I'll always be independent. Although I've got conservative values, I also have some liberal values. And you ain't going to put me in a box and make me one or another. That's why I think voting is a scam.
Yep, all I know is any respect that Trump would have had of me, he lost it when he was okay with that Alex Peretti guy getting killed, because that was bullshit. I don't give a shit how the government wants to spin it. I saw the videos, all angles, with my very own eyes myself. It was an unjustified murder. And to say, and if he was just to take accountability for it, say they're sorry, just something, some accountability, but nothing. Just nothing but blaming and blaming and blaming and fucking blaming. And I'm tired of that shit, bro. I'm tired of the blaming. Like, you don't do nothing fucking wrong, man. Fuck you. Fuck you, man. I'm done with that shit.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that, man, because when we first started talking years ago, man, I was a fan of Trump. I really was a fan of him. I'm not going to sit here and act like I wasn't, because I was. However, as the time has went on, I began to see the scam. Now, like, my mother is dead and gone, rest her soul, but my mom used to say to me, "I just don't like him." And I would argue with her up and down, because you did not have a legitimate reason to not like him. Unless you're going to give me some evidence, you cannot not like him, because the reality is you're not liking him for no reason. She would say, "Oh, well, his daddy was," well, that was his dad. His dad was a racist bastard. We can look that up and see, based on that was his dad's property. But Trump did fight that in the 70s. So you could say, okay, he's a little racist. But then you got to tell me why he dated black women. You got to tell me why he had black women on The Apprentice that he made stars. You got to tell me why he bailed out Jennifer Hudson when she lost her entire family and didn't even tell the world about it. You got to tell me why he was in every rap video and he was all on The View, and every black person, including Whoopi Goldberg, was sucking his ass. You got to tell me why all of this happened in order for you to convince me that the man just don't like black people. However, some of the stuff that he's doing is clearly inappropriate, and it clearly characterizes somebody that's a racist bastard to me.
I hear you, bro.
You know, I mean, but hey, we'll let that go, because this was not what this is supposed to be about. I'm going to end this right now. Thank you for your attendance tonight, sir. I'm going to get a thumbnail on this and get it on our YouTube channel.
All right. And all you guys out there listening, thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. And reach out to us if you have any questions, need us for anything. Thank you again.
Thank you.